You are listening to the Cloud Chambers of the Primordial 808. This is episode 17 with Edu Sommer-Madison.
Hello, I'm Scusi.
And this is Pardon.
And we ask forgiveness for our existence.
I forgive you.
Pardon is Cruhda taking up way too much space.
Scusi is taking up at least 50.05% of her spaceship.
That's actually factually wrong. I'm taking up maximum 49%.
Anyways, our spaceship is very small.
And we are moderating today's episode that will be filled with stories out of the humongous dark Krystal dimension,
Where random stories from faraway places appear when our spaceship boop-boop-bops.
It will be a fun ride.
Hopefully relaxing at best. Honestly, I apologize for Scusi's arrogance.
And I apologize for Pardon apologizing all the time. I'm very aware that it's super annoying.
Scusi, did you install the right antenna yet? It's making weird sounds.
I thought you were gonna do that yesterday.
Oh man, there's a problem. I'm losing control over the signal, you space-taking giant, and no, 100%. Scusi, this is your fucking fault.
Hello? 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 Hi. Hello? Hi. Cain. I'm speaking in hope that you can hear me. I've stranded in a peculiar place and I'm not sure how to get out of here. I remember in a tangible way the moment when the moon seemed much too big and we were walking holding hands in between nettles on a narrow pathway and you were whispering into this forest as if it were an incantation about your illness. The disease had a strange bird name, their wings laying itself on your eyes, creating wind with a failed attempt of flying out of your eyes and you just whispering, I can't
see you, and I can't see the much too big yellow moon breaking through the treetops.
The bird had laid eggs behind your retinas and soon your eyeballs would become eggs themselves. Blind orbs filled with exponentially growing potential. Anyways, when the eggs started cracking, we were at home by then, laying on our floating mattress made out of the wool of screaming sheep, and holding on to each other for dear life, probably because we both knew this was goodbye. Cain, you are truly the most beautiful man I've ever seen. With your silken golden skin and your deep melodic voice sucking all the oxygen out of my lungs. With your big pink strap-on and your million heartbreaking stories. Truly an angelic face. The first murderer of mankind. My evil brother, my warm brother. When your eyeballs started cracking open, they revealed a beast that took me into his claws and threw me out of the window into the sky, with such force that I exploded through the many barriers of velocity with a big bang. So fast that you became a stranger. So fast that the space you had yearned for to cocoon yourself into your storm of solitude put a whole universe between us. And now I'm floating here in this empty space somewhere, and it's so quiet here that I started hearing sounds that are not even there. Sounds of the past, I'm assuming. Memories like the sound of a rainy day in the beginning of July. And emerging from this, I hear a fairy tale braiding itself out of the raindrops. guys, I'm Edu, and just now you heard my new song, Star of Spring, produced by my beautiful and talented friend Vandalisbin, that you should go and check out because they have incredible music of their own.
Okay, seems like Pardon has retrieved finally the signal, that big waste of space, and we are about to boop-boop-bop a fairy tale majestic looking Krystal.
In times of the great King River, the one who with his many arms single-handedly crossed multiple countries until reaching the sea, there was a moment where a creature lived called the Mare. The Mare dressed only in star constellations, wearing the North Star inside his left eye's iris. There were many stories about the Mare, told many, many years after its death, but they were mostly false. The Mare in stories was supposedly an evil dream being which liked to sit on top of the chest of sleepers. People called this phenomenon a nightmare. The truth was that the Mare was an actual existent creature with handsome, elegant features, animalistic, slightly beast-like, but calm and serene. It would sit high up on the treetops, letting himself be swayed by the wind, softly bending everything it could reach. No one really knew where the Mare came from, not even he himself. He assumed that maybe he had been formed from the feeling people get when looking into a very, very wide space, like the sky. Or from the top of a mountain, or a desert, or of course the ocean. His purpose on this planet seemed to be laying on treetops and observing the trajectory of the sun. He seldomly looked down on the ground, as anything that wasn't sky-touched seemed to something only the Mare could feel. But it happened once, in times of the Great King River, that the Mare heard an unfamiliar sound from below. It was laughter, loud one, with a side note of morning dew.
Hello?
The Mare asked, through the leaves into the ground.
Hello.
Replied a disembodied warm voice.
Who is there? Who are you?
And as he was finishing his question, a big creature broke through the treetops. It was a dog-like fellow, with soft long fur and wings, a face like a homemade meal, and eyes bursting with a jolly little curiosity. Immediately the creature flew way too close to Mare's face, but Mare did not flinch.
What a strange creature you are. Beautiful but strange. Somehow intense.
The dog-like bird uttered, leaning his head to the side, as if tilting the perspective would maybe correct the strangeness of this handsome stranger.
I could say the same thing about you.
The Mare replied. The bird-like dog laughed again, and it sounded like how tiny water drops crossing a sun ray look like. The Mare did not know what exactly he had in front of him, but he knew he liked it.
Would you like to sit with me?
The Mare asked. The dog bird flew for a second in a circle to celebrate the budding connection, and then sat next to the Mare.
There's also just one of you on this planet, isn't there? From your species, I mean.
The bird dog asked. Mare nodded his head in silence.
Well, We might be very different specimen, but I bet we would get along fantastically.
Why?
The Mare replied, smiling a honey-sweet smile towards the sun.
We won't ever get bored, I guess, and we could observe and admire each other's strangeness and breathe each other's air.
I would love that actually, but you have to know, when it starts to rain and the sky is hanging low and gray, I won't be able to stop myself but to send lightning into all directions. It probably would hurt you a lot, burn your shiny fur.
That's okay. It will all be worth it.
And so they sat together on the treetops for quite a while, following with their strange, beautiful eyes the trajectory of the sun. Until then, the day came the Mare had talked about, and just as the Mare said, he struck the dog bird with a powerful lightning. The dog's wings burst into flames, all of his daydreams transforming into fog and floating deep into the forest. The dog bird fell to the ground. The Mare felt terrible for having done something so bad, but it had been out of his control. For a long time, there was silence, just the raindrops tapping on the millions of leaves.
You shouldn't have sat so close to me.
The Mare yelled into the wet greens below.
I know.
Yelled the bird dog back. And now, the Mare asked. We wait till the sun comes back, the answer danced through the leaves. And so they waited. And when the sun came back out, the bird dog, whose feathers had grown back remarkably fast, sat down again, directly next to the Mare. And the Mare let him.
Hello, I hope you enjoyed the story of the Mare. On this note, I would like to thank Mare for the beautiful illustration they did for this episode. It shows the dog-like bird in free fall right after it was struck by lightning by the Mare. Mare is an incredible artist, a very perfectionistic one, and spent hours crafting this dreamy image bursting with detail. If you're interested in getting a tattoo or a carefully crafted drawing in Berlin, you should definitely check them out. They even do haircuts.
Wow, Scusi, that was a beautiful fable.
Pardon, focus. You're flying too close to the glibsters over there.
FYI for everyone, glibsters are random little creatures flying around in a humongous dark crystal dimension that have lots and lots to say.
I need more! Mother! Why did you open the window? 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 Give me more! Where are you going?
Glibster, bye.
Coming up is a profound crystal, dark as a well, calling us into its beautiful melodies.
Hey, it's Edu, and I want you to open your heart for this next piece to submerge yourself in the fantastical, bleeding dream world of my beautiful friend Cruhda.
A treasure was stolen. My damn cold cave had once felt safe. Me, a creature that wants to walk on earth, but had not yet shed its scales. I had paved my cave with pearls. They shone so loud, so bright. And someone stole my treasure. And someone thought they were a horse which belongs in the stable. Their hay shall burn. The flames shall lick the stable broken. The scales on my skin will be there forever. My hair will grow over and hide them. And I know I am slippery vermin. And I will never forget that I come from the depths where nothing has shape, where colors no longer define things. Where lives are just names that used to be important.
Alrighty, seems like we passed by another Glibster.
Next stop is the gas station, where we'll let our friend Hank take over the show for a short interception of interviews of the creatures that are living on this little gas station planet in the humongous star Krystal dimension.
Minerals, billionaires, human flesh, and dinosaurs. Who wants them, who needs them, and who eats them? In this interception, we will talk about that and more.
Okay, Nina, fuck, marry, kill.
Humans, dinosaurs, or minerals?
Fuck the minerals. kill the humans and marry the dinosaurs.
I am outside here with
Johnny.
Johnny and me are enjoying the little sun that is left on planet Earth, and Johnny will answer the question: if you could smoke either dinosaurs, minerals, or fossils or meteors, which ones would you smoke?
I definitely smoke dinosaurs because they're probably like wild psilocybins inside the fossils. Like from ancient drugs, basically.
Would you have like a favorite dinosaur to smoke?
To smoke? Must be the it must be the T-Rex. I think that will definitely kill you.
Don't you think that it would have anger-enhancing qualities?
Yeah, possibly same as cocaine, honestly. But that would be... Yeah, we could test it. If we find a fossil, we grind it up, put it in a cigarette, see what it does.
Yes! Well, you heard it first from Johnny. T-Rex joints are the new thing here.
On the edge of the galaxy, floating around in space, a bit clueless about the I found inhabitant Max. Max normally likes to move around a lot. How do you feel sitting around all day long?
It's pretty boring, to be honest. Like, my legs are getting a bit sore from all the sitting. I prefer to walk and run and cycle a lot compared to sitting. Boring.
How is it with human bodies? Do they decompose as soon as you sit down?
That's actually a pretty tricky question. I've never thought about it, to be honest. Let me just think about it. I don't think so, to be honest, because to decompose pretty much means there's no life in them, and then I wouldn't speak with you right now. I am still alive, even though I'm a bit tired after all the work the last days. And if you ask me about life, I'd say life is about living.
Is there anything else you want to say about life before I go and we might never see each other again and we might be both dead very soon? What do you think?
Billionaires, let them live or kill them?
I'd say kill them all, unless they're willing to share their money with the rest of the population, then they can live.
That's a beautiful answer. A very peaceful man. Goodbye. Bye. In the south part of the galaxy.
And I have encountered 3 other humans floating around in space. Do you want to say your names?
Jana,
Leon,
and Nina.
And the big question is now:
which dinosaur would you date if they would be still alive?
Triceratops while he's sleeping. I think Triceratops is really cute, and when he's sleeping, I can climb on his back and then we can ride away to the sunset.
I want to say if I would date a dinosaur, it would definitely be the T-Rex, because I'm always going for the bad guys, which are not vegan.
Veganism, is it salad?
Love salad. Just salad or grass. Sometimes I just eat grass or the leaves from the trees.
Strange, dark, no place, filled with art. I have found an inhabitant floating around in space called Max. He is surrounded by many, many drawings of dinosaurs. Are you inspired by the art that surrounds you?
Yes, of course. But I'm inspired by the kids, what creative dinosaurs they paint. Because I tried to paint dinosaurs 1 year long, and I never become good dinosaur. And now I see the children, how creative they are creating new dinosaurs, and I'm like,
wow, that's amazing.
And then Art, Monsieur Art, dinosaur expert, showed me how to draw a dinosaur, and now I have new eyes for new dinosaurs.
Yeah. Which one of these dinosaurs that you have hanging here on those walls would you wish could you make alive?
Like,
how can I decide by 250 dinosaurs pictures? But to save the world, I wouldn't take like the big Spinosaurus, or I would take the Rosasaurus by Rosalie, because it's pink. Rosasaurus.
Why?
These dinosaurs.
No. Can I take back? I would take the Discosaurus. I want to. Ja, aber natürlich doch.
What are the greatest quality of Discosaurus?
He has a great sense for music, and he is super nice. He's a plant eater and music eater.
Finally arrived in Planet Info Box A5. Here with us is sitting Leon. He secretly told me off records that he is part of the underground Druid collective. Leon, do you identify as a human being apart from being a Druid?
Yes, I think so, yes, yeah.
Do you think that billionaires should be killed off or let them live?
Killed. Loving is a big word.
Love and hate are both big words, and Leon likes to keep it chill. I noticed that you live on this tiny, tiny planet. Do you feel all of your needs are met here?
Right now in this box?
Yes.
Yeah. It's perfect. I can see out and nobody can see in.
I have now landed on Planet Infobox A5 and encountered here an inhabitant called Marie. I'm assuming they're self-identifying as a human being. I noticed there's lots of minerals and crystals lying around here. Ever want to take a bite?
If I want to take a bite, maybe with gold, but not with the crystals. Yeah, I really like to bite in gold because that's what identifies me and my character. Biting in gold.
So Celine has been living abstinent of meat since the Dark Ages, or as humans would call it, childhood. Celine, when you have a human cut open on your table, you never get triggered and want to have one little bite?
No, I'm fine, thank you. Even though when they burn the fat, like the smell is like barbecue smell, kind of makes you hungry sometimes. When I was working in the hospital in Uruguay, I met the head surgeon, and he was one of the survivors of the plane crash in the Andes. Do you remember the one, like I think it was like soccer or football club who crashed, and they survived by eating the people that died?
Did he find a wife or a husband, or was everyone scared of him?
No, he did. He became a very successful surgeon, and he has a family and everything.
Do you like blood?
Yes.
Well, like is the wrong word. I don't mind it, and I like cutting.
Oh. What do you like most about cutting up a human being?
Well, I'm not cutting them up. I'm normally cutting them open to help them and then fix something, and then you sew them back together.
And that sounds strange and threatening. Should we be worried?
No worries. We just open you up. You know, it's like a car that doesn't work anymore. You have to take the lid off, the hood off, and fix it. So that's what we do. We fix it.
Inhabitant of the dimension LAGERA5 is Eric. Hello, Eric.
Hello.
Describe this reality, please, in 5 words.
It's gray, cold, alone, dark.
That's 4.
And shiny.
Hello. It is it is 3:45 a.m. and Philip is about to make a sound. Thank you, Philip, for your contribution to the interviews. That was him again.
Das ist geil. Warte, ich muss erst schwingen.
Okay. He's making music.
Schwingung der Steine.
It's the spirit of the stones, he says.
Hello, hope you're having fun so far. The next track is going to be another one of mine, produced again by Vandalisbin. Go check him out.
Sure likes to party.
Keep it in your pants, Hank.
We are now fully tanked, and while we're waiting for our next destination, we have an incoming message.
Incoming message from Ma Ars. Pronouns are he, him. To his daughter, Peenus. Pronouns she, they.
Did I fail in raising you? If you now decide to kill the chicken and the egg, is it just because of such turn on and more query that you decided to fall ashtray? Is this the real you? I am heartbroken that you decided to choose to ignore the Holy Sun's magnetism and instead turning moony. Nothing good comes to those choosing to live life inside the fantastical realities of mirrors and echoes and made-up memories. You might think it's cool now. A fashion accessory is not forever. Next destination, we have arrived. Poems.
A queer poems.
And as time went by, they suddenly were 2. And then they were 3. And then it went on and they started to form groups. All of them calling their friends their trick or twat and twinkle twink collection secretly in their minds. And if a new one of those would come into the circle, they would open their treasure box and present the shiniest jewels, because that was what they were, shiny and mysterious. Look, this one is one of my favorites. Little Red with their insanely royal demeanor of dynamite. And here, oh, don't forget this one. It shines always a little blue, especially during the nights. But you will find that their hugs are just so beautiful. You will burst into tears and cry when you lay in their arms. And of course, not to forget, my dear Amber one. They like to get naked and dance, wild and sweetly for their friends and strangers. Sometimes they sing heartbreaking tunes of the passage of time. And this one here, oh, such a dangerous little opal, dark and full of lust for the afterlife. I tell you, this is the one that will make you feel like exploding into 1 billion expressions of yourself, and they're all still you, and they are seen that way too, and oh my, so celebrated. Sauce was one of those, and as sauce does, they made everyone very moist. They would sniff out the juiciness of different people and would advise them to start taking the newest jam. Cool underground drugs in liquid form that would liquefy their body. Some more hair here, some voice tuning there. Why not a slightly different smell evaporating from your armpits? It will do you good, my darling. It will make you handsome. A small psychedelic dose of tea to make the others realize they were hallucinating all along when they thought they read you before. Pushing the trans agenda to the outer skates of conventional dreamland, infiltrating the institutions of boredom like a quirky rat invasion, nagging on the parts of the delusional cis brain the people can't manage to scratch. So they just stay there with that subconscious itch until they give in and let that pain unfold to become the type of energy that has direct material impact. They would say, "Of course it's all fun and games until you want to stop me. Listen, then I will turn nasty, because I play hard and I will fight for my play and I will fight hard for my joy." They would cry, "You misread my love letter. You did. The only perversion I see is in people who don't allow play." They would proclaim, "Hail the common misconception that queers are sick. In this society, I feel it's the only way to exist morally." They would howl. My revenge on this world was turning into me. Did you get the message? I did. So what did you think about the message? It's like remembering a childhood word unspoken for years. I didn't think about it for so long, but I always understood. I saw myself writing it down in my diary yesterday. And now everything scares me. Even the moon? Even the moon. Even the moon? Even the moon.
Twinkle, twinkle, little twat, how I wonder what you are, you and me above the stars, so high, like a twink in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little twat, how I wonder what you are.
Hadrien Daigneault-Roy is a transdisciplinary artist, co-founder of Erratum and curator of Wide Open Berlin. Hadrien also works as a dramaturg specialized in embodied dramaturgy and collaborating with performers, contemporary dancers, and other stage creatures. Hello, Adri.
Hi, Edu.
Hi. I love you.
I love you too. So my name is Adri. I'm your roommate, frenemy. No.
Oh my god!
No. Lover, sister, and I am also a dramaturg, an interdisciplinary artist. I work mainly in the field of theater and performance. So yeah, I also collaborate with Sasha Cohen, and together we have this artist duo called Erratum.
We're going to talk about Faggots, your project.
Faggot. So maybe I should
Right.
explain a bit what Faggot is about.
Yes.
So it's Faggot, and then you have this little star and an S, as we do after when we write trans with a star to be more inclusive. For us, faggots is an umbrella term for all queerness. Faggot is a gender that everyone can use. And this piece origins from The Faggots and Their Friends Between Revolutions, a book that was written by Larry Mitchell and illustrated by Ned Asta in 1977. And so we've made this contemporary adaptation for the stage that we presented in 2024 in Oshek Contemporary, and again in May 2025 in Berliner Ringtheater, and we're about to show it again for the third time in November.
What's the initial spark or question that led you?
Oh yeah, that was your question.
Yeah,
huh?
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, Faggot is a fairy tale, right? The Faggots and Their Friends Between Revolutions is a fairy tale that recounts this story or history of survival in a crumbling empire. And it was after COVID. A good friend of mine just died. I really felt it's actually the first show I did after COVID, and I really felt like there was a need to go back to fiction, right? Because queer art is quite often focused on personal history, intimacy, me, myself, and I, and it's okay. But I really felt like after COVID, there was a need of going back to whimsical, fairy world, and something that is bigger than oneself.
How would you describe the world of faggots itself?
Well, the world of faggot is everywhere and nowhere. It's fake and it's real at the same time. It's here and there. Whenever you think you see it, it disappears. It's like Munoz, is saying that queerness is not yet there. Whenever we think queerness is there, it vanishes. And that's what I like about the world of faggot. Everything is in between, kind of a magical realism. Everything is in between reality and fiction. And for me, that is the world of faggots on stage and out of stage. You mean you can go in Heisenheide and walk by on a sunny day and everything looks super normal.
That's the cruising area in Berlin.
Yeah. And everything looks super normal, but then there's a bush right next to the path where everybody just enjoys summer, and full of faggots fucking, and no one ever notices it. So it's there and it's not there. Yeah.
What do you want the audience to feel or experience while watching this piece?
It's a bit the same answer for what sparked the project. I really want people to allow themselves the luxury of fiction.
Yeah.
I really want people to allow themselves to project in many identities and in many embodiment as possible. If that the show is all about reclaiming identities outside of identity politics. Is if you feel like being something right now, you should be allowed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I want the butch to feel like faggots. I want maybe not the straight people, I don't know, but I want people to be able to, when they get out of the show, to be like, if tonight I want to be this, then I'll be that, you know?
Would you say you have a target audience, or is it like open to anyone in that sense?
I think the show is definitely by and for a queer community, but not only. I definitely think that everyone would benefit to enter the universe of Larry Mitchell. I think it brings out a lot of hope. It talks about community, so if you're part of a community, and theater is a micro community. When you step in a theater room and you watch a play, you're already part of a community. So then the show is for you.
So what is the emotional or political core of faggots?
I think it's going back to dreaming and going back to being weird. I think lately, in the last decade, queerness have been stuck in identity politics. And while faggot is playing with identities, it goes beyond this. It really goes beyond the mere fact of identifying yourself. And it talks a lot about the spaces we belong to. It talks a bit more about belonging than identifying. And belonging is such a different spectrum, because you can belong to many spaces at the same time. And it's in faggots is divided. We're talking about the Pansy Path a lot in the show. And the Pansy Path is that magical street where many communities have settled. There's the house of the heavy horny hunks. There's Amazon Acres. There's Gay as a Goose Tribe. And all of these small houses, the moment you step in, you have to behave a certain way, because each house has its own set of rules. And it's really nice because you're like, oh, okay, I'm not stuck in one place. I can just go somewhere else and exist differently. So yeah, that's for me the main political argument of our adaptation, but also of the Faggots and the Friends Between Revolutions, is that you're not stuck in one place. You can move.
Was there a moment where, like, going into this world of faggots, into the Pansy Path, that, like, specifically, personally for you, you saw yourself there?
I think there's a little bit, that's the thing I enjoy the most about this play, is that there's a little bit of myself everywhere in it. And there's also a sense of, it's a utopian narrative universe, so there's a sense of me wanting to be more than me being. And I think it's the same for everyone who worked for the play and the audience as well. Everybody after the show comes and sees us and we're like, oh, my favorite house of the show was the No Name Tribe, or my favorite house of the show was Amazon Acres, because I could identify with it. But then again, these spaces are kind of floating in the space, so you can just grab one and then let it go.
We're talking about utopia. The book was written right before the AIDS crisis.
Yeah.
Right? So do you think that, but somehow it foresaw the AIDS crisis at some point, right?
Yeah. The book was written in kind of that golden gay age between the Stonewall riot and right before the AIDS crisis. So there was a sense of hope, but there was also some form of wisdom already in the book. And there's literally, for me, there's almost a prophetic part of the book where Larry Mitchell writes, is talking about the fact that once the faggot were hit by a new mysterious weak feeling and became ill and couldn't leave their houses, and the women who love women, which are the lesbians in the book, took care of the faggots until they were cured. And this was before the AIDS crisis. So there's like this kind of immemorial or like outside of time sense that you really that is a bit uncanny for me, and that belongs to the fairy tale universe. It's not in the present, it's not in the past, it's not in the future, it's somewhere in between, so it's also queering time.
Do you want to describe the process of the piece? Like how it was built from nothing to where you're now?
The creative process, we started 2 years ago when I moved back to Berlin after a period of grief. Came back here, and Sasha and I were like, okay, we need a new play. And I found this book a bit out of nowhere, but I really felt like there was a need for the stage. It's always what I ask myself when I work with material. I'm like, is it something that just belongs in a book, or there's actually an appeal for it to be staged? And I felt that with today's technology, because in the show we work a lot with live voice modification. We use voice as a form of makeup with our sound designer Luke Nicole. We designed this vocal mask that allows the character played by Hassandra to switch from an entity or a character to another with using AI and like a big technological apparatus. So I really thought like, with today's means, we could create a version of that fairy tale that only belongs to one body. And I was like, okay, there is something there. So we started with Sasha for 1 year discussing about it, and then Hassandra jumped in, which for me it was obvious that it had to be a drag performer that was playing this, because when you do drag, it allows you to be and not to be at the same time. So to be plural, and then we have Luke Nicole who jumped in with this vocal mask technology that we developed. So yeah, and also about the process, we really tried as much as possible to include as much as possible the community around us. We did a first reading at Ivalan's bookstore in Neukölln, where we gather feedback. We also try to allow as much as possible space for every creator in the show to bring their own color. And you were actually the first person who ever read this text when we did a community event like 2 years ago.
Yes, it was beautiful.
When we had these candles on stage, and each candle was representing a house, and you were blowing it. It was really magical and poetical, but we went so far since then, and I'm very grateful for you to have been there since the beginning.
I'm also very grateful. Anything else you want to say about it? Like, for example, when is it shown next? And is there any chance to see it?
Now we're sold out, fortunately for us. But we have shows in the Berliner Ringtheater from November 17 till November 20. And we're looking to tour the show. So maybe more dates to come. And you can follow our work also on Instagram. Our handle is eratum.studio. And so if there's any more dates coming up, we'll put them there. Hopefully, this show can travel a bit. I would really like to.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Adri, for the interview, you beautiful soul. After this, I want to present to everyone another very special person called Odarka, and she can present herself best. So here she comes.
Hello, my name is Odarka. Odarka Zyrko is my artist name, and I am a Ukrainian musician, vocalist, and a composer. I am currently standing near the window at my parents' place in Montenegro, where they temporarily found refuge after escaping Ukraine. I want to present to you a song called, after 2 different attempts at calling it, A Childish Descent is my answer. And it is a collaboration with my friend and colleague, Parallel Processing. We have worked on this track together, first having a completely different idea of what is to come, and then taking a break, and me working on it in my own way and taking it a completely different direction, a more political direction, a more Ukrainian direction, because the way that parallel processing contributed was something that I couldn't do by myself. It wasn't something I was ready to put into sound. But when I heard it, when we were working on it, I realized that this sound, this intensity, is something I've been waiting for to work with, and I already had ideas in my mind regarding what I want to talk about and sing about, and so this track was made, and it is most of all a kind of vision of the present moment that is this extremely violent, unjust, war-torn world, as it's always been, but now closer to all of us than ever. And so it is the vision of my experience and of my friends' experiences and of just people's on the streets of Berlin experiences. It is a vision of it all through the eyes of the little Odarka, who is still there trying to make sense of it and trying to understand how in the world can that happen, how in the world can that be that this is what we're seeing before our eyes, this is what we're experiencing, and this is how it's perceived, and this is how it's normalized, and this is how we're getting used to it. And I wrote a poem that reflects on the present through my own childish eyes that is still in there. And yeah, I believe there are many ways to talk about this work. Right now, this is that. It is about Palestine. It is about Ukraine. It is about my home, and it is about my child self, and it is about myself, and it is also about all other resistances that are half invisible to the world outside, beyond their borders, like Sudan, Congo, Iran, Afghanistan, and many other places that we cannot even grasp. Not yet, not with everything that's happening. Regardless, I can talk about it forever, so here it is, my track. A childish descent is my answer. Please check out my Bandcamp and perhaps go there and read through the lyrics if perhaps they aren't clear, because I would really want them to be understood and heard. Yeah, I hope that you experience something worth experiencing when you listen to this, and I appreciate you being there for this music. Smelling the moist earth breath, shimmering bronze and pale silver powder of her wings, the synchronous endlessness of her lush green arms. Nature was a woman, and so was the universe, gently and tautly embraced in her arms, cradled to their tails, blind to her complicity. Their endless legs and endless arms, cold and soft against the two of mine. She's all earless heads and headless necks, thousands of wounded babies, and thousands of armed laughing men. stronger. My skin thicker with the personal knowledge of war. But I have fallen sick, and the skin has softly peeled off at the back of the neck and near the heart. And I saw earless heads and headless necks, thousands of wounded babies, and thousands of armed laughing men. Slava Ukraini, and Free Palestine.
Take me back, storm of spring. You still smell like home. Time won't pass when my craters sing, and all that spring is forever gone. I pray that at some point I'll run out of grief, return as a swallow to fight for my peace. I pray that at some point your curls will not hurt. Your skin and your dots, your jumps and your birds, your skin and your dots, your laugh and your dirt.
And this was again the Star of Spring song of mine, this time in the sung and much more raw version. It's a work in progress.
Pardon, are we heading towards a new Krystal?
New destination, frozen time machine, enter ring.
Kids, come closer. Let me tell you a story about a period of time where time doesn't move anymore. It is about the story of an earthling. An earthling is a person from this planet called Earth, which is not so far from our planet. This earthling tries to stop time. The story says that there was one earthling that was so afraid to get old. We don't really have that concept here, but
from what I learned, old is a word humans use to measure how many years a person has traveled compared to most others.
So back to the story. This earthling spent his whole lifetime inventing a colossal machinism designed to suspend planetary motion, to lock the orbits of every celestial body in place, a way to pulse the universe and
freeze the flow of time. He called that the frozen time machine. If nothing moves, he thought,
then time won't go. If Earth stops spinning and circling, I'll never grow old. And with that in mind, he worked and worked, almost his whole lifetime. He started building the machine when he was 20, and by the time he's 60, he's finally finished it. A masterpiece, he thought. He got on a rocket, going into the space with this machine he made. What a magnificent machinery, he thought. He treated it like his lover. They went into the universe, he danced with the machine in a weightless space. He falls in love with his creation, falls in love with the idea that he will not be aging anymore after he does the operation. He even felt younger than before already. After some celebration and intimacy, it's time. He turns the machine on. A tremendous force poured out, silent and enormous. The planets hold it. Earth pulsed, the moon, the other planets, the sun itself. Everything stopped moving. It was a weird weightlessness, one that was sort of strange, like breathless, but also a little sticky. He was so proud of what he did. He thought he would return to Earth as a hero now that he stopped time and nobody has to age anymore. But as he was getting back into the rocket, a terrible realization crept in. He, as a living being, had not stopped. His blood still moved. His cells still changed. He had only removed the way people measure time, not the way bodies become. That thought drives him mad. The fear of getting closer to death, the thought of not being able to control where he goes next. Is it heaven? Is it reincarnation? Or simply just disappearing? Does he have a spirit?
He was so busy making the machine, he thought of none of those questions.
He's not ready to go there. He can't bear the feeling of this tick-tack,
tick-tack, tick-tack in his own chest.
The blood circulation. I can't deal with the renewal of cells, the sense of being alive and changing,
calculating the steps that he walks towards unknown.
In this overwhelming madness,
he took and fitted a new knob onto the frozen time machine.
Pointed at himself, he blasted the frozen force into his own body. His body bloated, blurred. The force was inside him and around him. He was squeezed, stretched, twisted. At one point in the midst of it all, he was no longer a single piece. His consciousness slipped out of his skull and moved everywhere at once. There was possibly no longer the concept of old anymore, because time hasn't moved since the planets were not moving. He was no longer a human, so he doesn't need to count that time.
In that unique way, his desire came true. His remains scattered, large pieces threaded themselves into other matters of the universe.
Fragments of the frozen energy crystallized through the universe. And somehow, that second blast loosened the lock. Planets began to move again. On our planet, the atmosphere contains those frozen particles, microscopic bits of stopped time. The explosion didn't just freeze and unfreeze, it folded dimensions. Our planet sits in one of those folds, between frozen and moving reality. Which is why, from time to time, you feel a feeling of traveling in the past or future. Fragmented memories, deja vu. Memories arrive before events. Being young and old at the same time, we're feeling lost and unsure how to measure yourself with the linear ways. Time on this planet is not constructed in a linear way. If you have calculation, you also have starting point and ending point, so you calculate the middle. With all the unknowns on this planet, we almost always can only calculate based on the now. Or from time to time, we travel past and future, or mixture of in-between, where I'm here, but my mind is there.
Or you're here,
but you see me in your mind like another me. That's the story of time, the multi-reality that we live on this planet. Kids, next time I will tell you the story of why you feel lost sometimes and how to find your way back. Where's back and where you want to go. We often do ask why I'm here, what do I do here? Often that got squeezed by the survival, laughed at by the void. While thinking hard, sometimes it gets explained by the actions. In the fragmented thoughts, we travel back and forth in time. Time is not merely calculated by numbers. If you're unclear, maybe we can take that frozen time machine. I heard it's still floating somewhere in the universe, and we can blast it again towards the sky and take us onto another time structure and see what else does it tell about being a human being feels like.
What you just heard was a story of the talented Kuan-Hsuan, pronouns she, they, a multidisciplinary artist that has appeared and will continue to do so multiple times in the cloud chambers of the primordial 808.
Seems like we're approaching our stop.
Stop whining, Pardon.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Anyways, the last stop is another fable, guys. Enjoy! Scusi out.
Bye.
High, way up high, on the top of a mountain that contrasts the sea behind, there used to be a tavern for lonely travelers that stretched itself into the rock of the mountain. The tavern would serve rum and warm thick soup and could only be found by mistake. Inside, the lights were all dim and warm, and because it had no windows, it never mattered which time of day it was. The tavern was run by an old, very old, small woman with strong arms and soft eyes. Her name was Rosie. Rosie knew very little about the world she lived in, as she had never left the mountain top, which had always been embraced by a stubborn, thick cloud. She did have a lot of very specific information, though, that she had gathered from her peculiar ensemble of guests. One guest had once showed her how to swiftly get out of a hangman rope, already wrapped around the neck, without hands, already hanging.
Just in case someone wants to hang you at some point,
he said with a cheeky gold-toothed smile. Another one had explained to her in a meticulous manner every tiniest difference between two specific types of mushrooms that grew only in rainforests on the other end of the world. One of them you could eat and enjoy. The other one you could eat and die. A very confused guest had once showed her how to grow more flesh than others on specific body parts. When she asked why he would do that, he just replied,
to just be more.
He had grown so much of his own flesh that he had to be seated on 2 bar stools while slurping his rum like a child. The woman always tried to keep an open mind and was always strictly and highly polite to everyone, as she believed that making someone have even one good moment could save a whole day, a whole life even.
A great life is always just one smile away,
she would say, showing her remarkably healthy teeth. It wasn't that Rosie had no ambitions and had therefore never left the mountain top, quite the opposite. She would ambitiously brew rum and cook thick soup to satisfy every last single guest, and would ambitiously learn from each and every one of them a peculiar skill or story, no matter how impractical or strange the thing was that she learned to never use or tell again. She felt that one day, when she would pass away, she would lay on one of the rocks on the mountain top and slowly decompose, and her body would send all that stored information down, down, down through rock, and then sideways and frontways into the earth and the ocean. The remarkable thing was that she was right about all of that. One faraway day, a curled-haired child, miles and miles away, picked up a tiny rock, ate it, and all of a sudden just knew how to do a very specific thing very right. The child would grow up with this as his secret little skill with pride. He would only show it to his biggest confidants. And always would there be a little "ah" as a reaction, surprised eyes and a little smile. So, if you have a little trick up your sleeve that came to you out of nowhere and stuck, chances are big some lost traveler had told Rosie about it thousands of years ago on that hidden mountain top, in that cozy little tavern,
where they serve rum and thick soup, and day and night are just alike. Hey, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. It certainly was a blast to create it, and a humongous thank you to Vinke Zone for being an amazing and inspiring sound artist, friend, and creator of worlds. This was Edu for the episode 17, and in a few weeks you will have the luck to listen to a bonus episode by Wisdom 369. Stay tuned.
Hey, ¿qué pasa, familia? Yo, I hope you all enjoyed that episode. This was Edu for episode number 17 of The Chambers. And in a few weeks, you'll have the luck to listen to a special bonus episode by myself, Wisdom 369, curating a classic boom bap hip-hop session in Spanish, representing the culture of Latino America, loco. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.